Hey everyone! So today is a little bit different because I am behind the camera. Well, I'm like off to the side of the camera, but today we are going to be talking all about nails. So I'm basically going to be going through my nail care routine while kind of just like doing it. So right now I'm going to take off my nail polish because I had this super colorful Easter kind of set on, and this is a week's worth of growth. It is Friday right now and I've had these on since last Friday. So you can kind of see the cuticle growth and how much, you know, it's grown. Can I say that enough times? How much it's grown in the last week or so. So right now I'm just using some nail polish remover and a couple of these cotton rounds. So I just prefer cotton rounds to cotton balls because it's easier for me. So I'm just going to go and take these off and kind of talk about some of the products that we're going to be using, because people ask me questions about my nail care in real life. So I figured why not just, you know, film it and talk about it on YouTube, because what else are we doing in quarantine? Basically, I go through this prep every single week. I take my nail polish off in the evening before I shower, and then I paint my nails after, and then let them dry for a little bit, and then go to bed, and then I wake up and they're, you know, pretty good. So I have been on a pastel kick recently, and that's why all of these colors are kind of pastel. And then later on, when I paint my nails and I go through all of those steps, you will see which pastels in particular that I have been really enjoying.
I've been roaming around the places we used to go, only just reliving feelings that I had before. I think I'm going numb, but babe, why don't you tell me so? I don't really know the difference from
Alright, so this is what the cotton pads look like now that I've removed all of my nail polish, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw these away. And this is what my natural nails look like. They are a little bit discolored because I do have polish on them all the time, but nails are not living, so it's okay to keep nail polish on there. But I have achieved this kind of like square oval, squivel sort of shape, but I think I'm just going to round them out this week because I kind of filed them down from the rectangles that they were into this shape. And I just use this normal black file. I don't really do anything special or have anything super special for this, but I'm going to file them around like that kind of, but that's essentially all I do. And I just make sure that I also file under, so that way you don't get anything kind of like underneath the nail that's like a rough edge that will snag on anything, and that helps prevent any breaking. Alright, this is one of the only cuticle oils that I have, and this isn't like a remover or anything, it's literally just an oil. So it comes with this little dropper. It's by Elizabeth Arden. And so I basically didn't have a lot of filing to do this week because I'm just slowly making them grow in oval, so I just want to make sure that they're healthy and moisturized and my cuticles aren't doing anything wild, so they're good, I think, for the week. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this dropper and then place a tiny little bit on each nail.
keep us spinning on the higher grounds and never stay the same.
And we are back some hours later, actually a lot of hours later because it's now 11:40 at night, but that's fine. So I'm going to go through some of my favorite nail products because I'm doing my nails and I'm in quarantine, so we're gonna talk about this. So this has been my most recent favorite base coat. It's just this Revlon Quick Dry. I feel like it adheres to my nails well, and the nail polish all sticks on top no matter what brand. Then I'm going to go in with my Essie polish, in Find Me an Oasis, and this is one of my favorite blues. It's just super simple and pretty. And then one of my favorite top coats, the Sally Hansen Dries Instantly. And I know in my last nail video I said that I liked the big quick dry more, but I switched it up this time and got this one, but I still think I might go back to the other one, so it just depends. But as long as you have a base coat, a good formula for your polish, and a quick drying top coat, I think nails are pretty easy to do every single week. I know it's kind of time consuming, but I think taking time to take care of your nails and all of that kind of stuff just helps a lot. And also what I'm doing right now is just opening and loosening up all the caps, so that way when I do go back after my nails are wet, I don't have to like struggle and open these, because I've done that before and like messed up the tips, so that's annoying. Alright, so as I've never painted my nails on camera before, this is quite an interesting angle. But basically, I'm just going to go in and quickly coat all of my nails in this base coat. One more note about my shape right now of my nails. They are this kind of oval shape, and I'm not totally sure if I'm going to be keeping that. But while we're in quarantine, I figured I'd experiment with a different shape than normal, because normally they're always square. And because I've been doing my nails for so long, I feel like I have decent control with my left hand, even though I am right-handed. I have enough control to be able to paint my nails without it being a complete wreck, so that's just what I'm going in and doing now. And that took a couple minutes at most. This is what one coat of that quick dry base coat looks like. I'm still not sure if this is one I'll be using, you know, full time, but I go through base coat and top coat and nail polish pretty quickly because I do my nails often. So I just thought I would start filming some of the process, because there are some little tips and tricks that I have that make things a lot easier, and one of them is definitely getting all quick dry products except maybe the polish. I know Essie recently came out with their quick dry line, but I like the regular color still more, and so I just use quick dry base and then top coat because that is enough for me. Alright, because this is quick dry, I just let it dry for a couple minutes, and now I'm going to go in with Find Me an Oasis. One quick nail polish tip that I have is that you should roll your nail polish instead of shake it when you're trying to get the color and stuff mixed up, because that prevents air bubbles and everything. And something that I've noticed about Essie polish is that it does go on a little bit streaky right at first. Then when you go back in with that second coat is when it really starts to kind of show the color that it is. So just know that when I'm doing this kind of streaky at first, that's okay, and then when you go in with the second coat, it will just fix all of that. And another note that I have when you're applying your polish is that less is more. So what I'm doing is basically coming up here and then tapping off all that excess polish, and then having just enough to place a thin layer on my nails. And when I am placing it on my nails, I am making sure that the coat is almost so thin it's streaking on purpose, so that way I know it's not going to be too thick to dry quickly. And this is one coat of Find Me an Oasis, and I just really like this because it's a really, really pretty blue. And now we'll move on to my right hand. And a polish tip that I have for all of my right-handed people out there, and I guess this also applies if, you know, you're left-handed and you have to paint your left hand. Basically, painting with your non-dominant hand is kind of challenging at first, but making sure that you actually have a little bit extra on the brush with this hand can be helpful, because that way you can kind of like put it on the edge with the excess polish instead of having to take the brush all the way to the edge. And it's much easier to do that rather than try to get that brush all the way to the side. And that is one coat of this blue, and I did do it really streaky like I said before because I don't want the first layer to be too thick. It's better if it's too thin. You can go in and clean it up. And also, it's not the end of the world if you get something like this on your skin, because you can always just wash it off the next day or when it dries. So that's it, and now I'm gonna let this dry for a few minutes in between. And now we're going back in with the second coat, and like I said, this is where you can kind of come in and do some of that damage control that I mentioned before. So I'm going to add a lot to this because it's my thumb, and it's also the second coat before top coat. And the second coat of nail polish is when I like to seal the tip, and you will see that just in a second here. So now I'm going to take this extra little drop of paint here and kind of run it along the edge. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay if it goes under your nail. It's just to make sure that the polish is sealed in here, and this really helps out with chipping. And I'm going to do the same thing with top coat when I do go back in. So I don't know if you can tell on camera if it's quite picking it up. This is much more solid than the other three fingers. And you can kind of see that the tips are sealed. Again, polish might get on your fingers, but it's worth it to seal these. And that is what this will look like. And of course, I'm then going to add top coat, but I have to do my other hand. But I really like the way this blue looks, and I think it gives it a really nice spring feeling. So I have been loving pastels. And like I said before, go in with a little extra with the non-dominant hand, because that way you can kind of reach the edges without having to take the brush all the way to the edge. You can kind of just like squish the paint to the edge. That's kind of my little secret. And also I'm realizing how difficult it is to film and talk at the same time when I'm concentrating on my nails, so forgive me if I'm a little shakier than normal. Okay, while I'm doing the top coat, because that doesn't take quite as much concentration since it's clear, I just wanted to say that sitting in front of a fan like I just did for about 5 to 10 minutes really helps with the drying of the actual nail polish. And then of course, using a quick dry top coat, I make sure I go all the way over all of the polish. I know some people do this differently, but I just like really getting all of it under this quick dry kind of like layer, because it just, one, helps it dry really fast, and then two, makes it last for a while. So I didn't technically have to redo my nails after a week. I just like doing that because my nails grow pretty quickly. I like getting the space between my, finger filled in right there, so that's why I redid mine. Plus I wanted to film this for you guys, so there's that. But then also, when you file in oval kind of the way I did, this is definitely a commitment, because when you file back down to rectangle, at least for me, it takes a little while for them to go back to that normal shape and making everything super long and pretty and rectangular again. So this was a bit of a commitment, so we'll see if I regret this, but I figure while I'm not going to be around anyone and no one's really looking at my fingers, it's a good time to try all of the new shapes out. So that's what is going on my fingers today right now. And another reason I wanted to film this is because I wanted to show a realistic nail care routine. I don't do anything fancy or really special or that different. I think maybe some of the techniques I have discovered throughout my years of doing nails will help some people, but I don't do anything crazy. And I feel like a lot of those nail care videos I've seen are like, you need 8 million products and you need special this and that, but this is really me truly doing my nails around midnight, and that's kind of typically how it goes because I hate doing my nails during the day. So this is literally just my normal nail care routine, and I wanted to capture that, and especially that it's this late and I'm tired and I'm not really focusing too much on this. So I wanted to give a realistic approach to nails because I think it's very achievable for most people. They just don't realize it because you don't need 100 different special things and you don't need to do anything crazy. You just need to be mindful when you're doing them. And that is kind of the approach that I hope to take on my overall YouTube channel. I want to give a realistic look at life. Yeah, I want to try to make it look nice, but I also realize that we're all people, and I appreciate YouTubers and, content creators that give a realistic outlook on life and not just like the filtered one. So my Instagram's pretty curated, but my vlogs are a peek into, how I really am and all of that kind of stuff. So I hope this is helping someone out there with their natural nail care routine and checking out some of these products that I think have proven to be quite useful, and I definitely will and have repurchased. And that is my nails with top coat and everything on them. So I am going to again put these in front of the fan just to help that quick dry even further. But I love these pastels from Essie. I think they're so pretty. They're pretty easy to work with and they have a good formula. So give this video a like if you found anything helpful. Drop your nail care tips in the comments below. Maybe there's something that I could learn from you guys and hopefully, you know, you learned a little something. I will also go ahead and link my other nail care video below, which is kind of how I grow my nails out to this length. I would love for you to stick around and subscribe to see what else, you know, is going on, and I will see you next week. Bye guys!